There's been a red card, but for who, Chris Kamara?
Red card. Gets a red card. It is a red card. That's not a red card.
And a red is a red card for Zidane.
4 lads, 1 red card.
Hello everyone, welcome to 4 Lads, 1 Red Card. This is the 11th edition of your favorite podcast. Club football is back and we have again a lot to discuss today. I'm joined by Jotis, Darren and Alex. How are you guys?
We're
Very
fine.
good.
Great weekend of
good.
football.
Yep, happy to have the club
Uh,
football back.
Yeah, it feels
Yeah.
good to have club football
So
back.
glad.
Yeah, exactly. So guys, just before we begin, please, once again, don't forget to follow us on social medias, put a like, comment, share our content. We're on Spotify, of course, YouTube, Instagram, and X. And we will start now with an update on the main European leagues, and we'll begin with La Liga in Spain. So we're looking at the Spanish league table and the title race, which is very close between Real Madrid and Barcelona, of course. Jotis, I'll begin with you. Real Madrid is still top of the table despite last night's draw at Elche. I want to understand, how would you sum up Real Madrid's start to the league season for now?
The start was good, but it's not particularly looking good right now. I mean,
Okay.
we narrowly escaped the defeat yesterday
No,
against
you
Elche.
you robbed not getting
Shut up,
defeated.
shut up.
Yeah.
So
You robbed once again.
we escaped defeat, which was followed by a nil-nil. I mean, last week it was a nil-nil draw against Vallecano, so it's not particularly looking good at the moment. That there's a lot of internal issues. There's not a system that's in place. Players who were like really good in the beginning of the season are not particularly looking good now. Players doesn't feel comfortable in their positions. The questions are starting to arise around Xabi Alonso's choices, and yeah, it's not particularly looking good at the moment.
Yeah, you were talking about some problems in the locker room, or some different rumors we were looking at on the papers about Real Madrid. What do you think, or do you know what is really happening? Is this something like a phantasm of people that try to put some mess on Real Madrid, or do you think there is a real problem inside the locker room right now?
I mean, when you're the biggest club in the world, there's always going to be like drama around you, at least people trying to create drama around you. So that's always there. But there's been problems with players like Vinicius. I mean, they've always denied that there's no problems, but everyone knows there is. So his lack of playing time, and then lack of form from a couple of the youngsters, and then injuries haven't been like the biggest problems because of the other issues that we currently have. But it's
Yeah.
just like the choices of Xabi Alonso, the system that's still not fixed yet. So yeah, it's kind of a mess now. And added to that, the fact that we're not winning games at the moment. And when you're Real Madrid, you're always supposed to win. Like other clubs like Barcelona, can accept a draw, but not Real Madrid. But yeah.
No.
Yeah, let's hear our Barcelona supporter.
No. So first of all, I think we all have to agree that Real Madrid robbed Elche, right? Because that second goal, there's no way that was not a foul on the Elche goalkeeper, right? I think we all agree on that goal shouldn't have stayed, right? Okay, because it was a robbery. Second of all, I just saw today that Vinicius told Papa Perez that he won't renew his contract with Real
I just
Madrid
saw
because of the tension between him and Xabi Alonso. And you said his lack of, I think Alonso gave him playing time. The thing is, my opinion is that Alonso is asking Vinicius to do like more work for the team, and he needs to fit in the system. And because Vinicius is a baby, he needs to have his own playground. So yeah, such a joy to watch, and I hope this can carry on.
Yeah, Alex, but can't you understand that even if you say that he's a baby, okay, we understand that, but can you understand, guys, that Vinicius last seasons were Real Madrid's king? He was number one. He was the great player. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
there's
now
no doubt about that.
Mbappe arrived. They changed coach, so new things happen in Real Madrid, and he has not the same place. Of course, he has to confirm that on the pitch. If he's good, he's gonna stay as the king he was. If he's not good, of course we can like ask question about that. But can't we also can understand Vinicius' problems right now? Because since the Ballon d'Or, and of course, we talked about that, he's not the same player. He was really disappointed. That's understandable. And also, I think since the arrival of Kylian Mbappe, his new position on the pitch, he's not the leader of the attacking trio of four players. It depends on the composition of Xabi Alonso. We can also understand Vinicius' position, right?
That's true, but also, like, if you think that Vini has had like a tough time recently, let's say in the past year and something, just think about Rodrigo. Rodrigo has been at times the best player of Real Madrid. There were times when Rodrigo carried that Real Madrid team, especially in the last Champions League winning season. And right now he's a bench warmer. So it's like, it's true that the arrival of Mbappe, like, he became instantly the leader of that team. And yeah, it like conflicted with the usual order that used to be in the locker room and within the team. So yeah, for me as a Real Madrid hater, it's a joy to watch. So I hope this can carry on.
Okay. To finish with Real Madrid, guys, quickly, what will you do if you were like Real Madrid coach or Real Madrid president? If you had the power, what solutions do you think are the best? Do you keep everyone and try to play with Rodrigo, Mbappe, Vinicius, Bellingham, and the other players? Do you sell someone? What will be your main solution for that?
To be fair, I would do exactly what Luis Enrique did in Paris Saint-Germain. I would do a complete rebuild. I mean,
Okay.
I know it's hard because Real Madrid is, I wouldn't say like, I don't want to say it's a bigger club than PSG. PSG is also a very big club, but I want to say that Real Madrid is more of a cultural club. And I think Vinicius Jr. and especially also Jude Bellingham, they are, even though they are not the stars of the team right now, I think they are still they are still in a crucial place in their backbone of the team. So it might be a bit hard for them to sell them or send them away, but I think in every 2 or 3 years, it's good to have fresh faces in the team and rebuild the squad in order to keep the momentum and keep the passion high. Because, I mean, these guys won everything, especially Jude Bellingham. In his first season, he won both La Liga and Champions League. And we are not in the era where Cristiano Ronaldo and the whole Real Madrid squad can win the Champions League back-to-back for 3 years. So even winning it just one time is enough for some players. So maybe at the end of the season, they can sell Vinicius Jr. if he doesn't want to renew the contract, and also maybe even Jude Bellingham, because we have talked about his performance as well. And even in the England national team, they are questioning his performance a lot right now. Maybe you guys have seen the news. Thomas Tuchel,
Yeah.
sometimes that he doesn't want to include him in the starting lineup. So maybe a renovation in the squad at the end of the season can work for Real Madrid. And that's exactly what I would do if I was Xabi Alonso.
So a new team, a fresh new team. Jotis, do you agree with that, or do you think Xabi Alonso has to insist with his players and try to find the best solution for them?
I think I kind of agree with what Darren said there. Players, who don't want to stay in Sabiron's system, they should leave. No matter how good they were for Real Madrid in the year before, because Real Madrid has certain level of standard that has to keep up. It's not it's not up to the individuals, because bigger players than Vinicius and Mbappe have left the club, and the club has still functioned. So I think if it's good for the team, they should leave.
Yeah. Okay. That's where the different opinions for Real Madrid. Alex, for Barcelona on its part, Barca is picking up steam and gradually regaining its offensive strength. We saw that Yamal is back with his true level. Lewandowski too scored a lot since some games. Do you think Barcelona can return to last season's form that they had? They were incredible last season. Do you think they can still put that pressure on Real Madrid in La Liga, but also in Europe? Do you think they can find back their last season's level? What do you think, Alex?
To be fair, if they get back to that form, I think that will happen more like towards springtime, like
Okay.
maybe February, March. And I think it's better for teams to peak in their season towards the end, because this is exactly what happened with PSG last year. They had a very bad first part of the season and then destroyed everybody in the second part of the season. and it's very good. Of course, it's all amazing to have great starts, but it's more important to continue that long run. I wouldn't say Yamal is back to his true level, but I think that game against Bilbao would have been already been won just because of the fact that the team returned to Camp Nou and all the story behind it and everything. I mean, the motivation was there. I don't think in any world Bilbao could have stopped that Barcelona game.
Okay.
Barcelona in that game. I hope they can be back to that level, but we still have to remember the defensive problems that this team has. The only way I can see Barcelona be back to that level is having the front players perform as good as last year. We have to have that trio of Yamal, Lewandowski, and Rafinha performing at the level they did last year, so they can outscore the opponents. Because there's no way that backline will be as good as it's been last season. So yeah, this is
Jotis,
my opinion.
do you agree that Barcelona is still like a bit weaker than tough opponents, and that maybe the cause that they are not winning all the trophies? Do you think it's the
Yeah.
only weakness of Barcelona, or do you see another one in that team? That's
Now,
I think defensive problems are obviously a weakness, but when they see Real Madrid pick up pace in the second half of the season, they're going to lose all motivation and they're going to end up, I don't know, second or third in the table. So they're not winning anything this season.
do you think Barcelona can put pressure on Real Madrid this season, or do you think the title is already won for Real Madrid?
No, I think they definitely can. I mean, you don't know what happens in football because let's just say that we cannot we cannot clearly say that in 4 weeks maybe Real Madrid will have some big crucial injuries and then they're gonna lose back-to-back points, or it's going to happen to Barcelona. Let's say that Rafinha, I mean, this is all hypothetical, by the way. This is just to prove that we cannot guess things in football. Let's just say that Rafinha does, I don't know, a stupid tackle in a game against Getafe or something, and then he gets banned for 4 games or something. I mean, these things can happen in football, so it's very unpredictable. And Barcelona is also a very, very big club, so they are never going to give up until it's mathematically confirmed that their opponent is the champions. It's the same goes for Real Madrid and even for Atletico Madrid, I would say. So I
yeah,
don't
no,
think
Atletico are
championship
on the run.
is going to be sealed until
Yeah.
the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, so talking about that, let's talk a little about Atletico Madrid too, which Alex and I at the beginning of the season predicted would be a bit disappointing. But Atletico Madrid is fourth on the table, but only 4 points behind the leaders, and have now won 5 consecutive La Liga games. So that's quite impressive for them. Therein, you were talking about Atletico. Do you think that's the same question every year, right? But do you think this season Atletico can really compete for the title, or the title will be played between Real Madrid and Barcelona?
I mean, on the paper, Atletico Madrid doesn't have a bad squad. I mean, players like Julian Alvarez, Alexander Sörloth, and others, they are really, really good players and they have a solid squad. But I don't think they have the capacity to compete with Real Madrid and Barcelona on a full-scaled league. If it was a tournament, not a league, maybe they could have made some surprises because, as you know, tournaments are like more surprising competitions
Yeah.
of football. But I don't think, I mean, right now, is it the 12th or 13th week of La Liga?
13th,
13th week of La Liga. So approximately there's like 20, 25 weeks more.
25 games. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
25. I mean, I don't think they can handle 25 more games and compete with Real Madrid and Barcelona. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna stay in top 4, if not top 3.
Yeah, okay. Alex, Jotis, do you agree with Darren? You think Atletico is too, let's say, even if they're pretty good right now, but weak to really compete with Real Madrid and Barcelona this season?
I don't think they are too weak. I think it's just like that mental thing, you know. Special things have to happen for Atletico to win that title. When they won those 2 titles under under Simeone, I mean, in the first season in which they won the title, their defense was crazy. They were close to Chelsea 2005, like in terms of numbers. And then in the second year, both Barca and Real Madrid were like down bad.
Yeah.
Barca was coached by Ronald Koeman, so you can imagine how down bad they were. And Atletico were led by an inspiring Luis Suarez, and they won the title. I don't know. It's too hard for teams to compete with Barcelona and Real Madrid. Atletico have to be on a crazy run. I think out of those 25 games, they will have to win at least 22 in order to win this title.
That's huge.
And I don't think they are capable to do that.
So
I
the
think
Mhm.
I think
Yeah,
they
yeah,
have
go.
to do quite a they have to have a quite a good season this time, because if not, Simeone it won't be there next season. If they're not high up, I mean, if they're not winning the league, that's a problem. But if they're not winning any sort of titles this year, then yeah, Simeone won't be there for another season. That's what it looks
Yeah.
like,
Is
at
this
least.
contract
Really?
expiring or?
They are not particularly happy with Simeone because some fans feel like, not some fans, a lot of fans feel like his time at the club has come to an end and it's time for a
I
change.
mean, no offense to Atletico Madrid fans, but that's just ungrateful. Considering where Simeone picked up Atletico Madrid and where he
Yeah.
brought the team, that's
Yeah.
just so ungrateful.
I mean,
That's
but
true.
then again, all the good things has to come to an end, right? It can't they can't, he can't be the coach for Atletico Madrid forever. So
That's true. Where do you think he
Yeah.
can go if he leaves Atletico Madrid?
that's a good
Well,
question, actually, because I can't imagine him anywhere else other than Atletico,
Arsenal?
and I can't imagine Atletico without the guy. So I don't know.
Maybe
He may go
Arsenal?
to Inter.
Inter, yeah.
yeah,
That's
Inter looks good. I hope not in Saudi Arabia, but it might be too, because if he's the coach who earns the most money in Europe. So I think like, even if he has a challenge like Inter Milan or a team in Premier League, maybe he can reduce a bit his salary and go in a top team, but he won't like divide by 2 or 3 his salary just to go to another club. So maybe Saudi Arabia will enjoy that situation and try to propose him a contract, as they did with Inzaghi, for example. So yeah, to be honest, Inter Milan might be interesting, but let's see if they are looking for a new coach. They have a great Romanian coach right now.
Yeah.
So but yeah,
fingers
it will be
crossed.
interesting to see it. But yeah. Guys, we will now continue with Serie A, talking about Inter. The race for the title and the top spots is also very intense and uncertain for now. I'm looking at the Italian table, and we see that this Gasperini's AS Roma is in first place, ahead of AC Milan and Napoli. Alex, is surprising to see this team, which was fifth last season, at this stage. This AS Roma, isn't it?
It may be surprising for some people, but not for 4 lads, 1 red card crew, because we had
Exactly.
predictions at in the first episodes. Nah, just kidding. Roma have a very good coach. I really love Gasperini, and I hope they can fight for this title. I don't think they can win it. They will definitely be in this title race. I hope Inter can win the title just for the sake of Kivu, because I want to see a Romanian succeed in the big football. We call it like the football that matters, because
Yeah.
nobody cares about the Romanian league or other leagues around here, but everybody cares about Italian league, La Liga, Premier League.
Sure.
So, yeah, Roma, they have been good also under Ranieri in the second part of
Yeah.
last season, but because of the horrible start they had, they couldn't make it to the Champions League. Gasperini came, and I think he just demonstrates that he's a great coach. He took Atalanta from from a yo-yo team, a team that goes up and down every year between the divisions. He took them to play constantly in the Champions League and to win the Europa League. That's incredible. That's crazy. He
incredible.
became a cult hero. And we are talking about Atalanta, not it's not a club with a background or something. It's a very small team used to compete for survival. And he came to a big club, and he showed that he has the qualities to manage a big club as well, because there are coaches who are made just to manage small clubs, but he certainly isn't that kind of coach.
Yeah, you just imagine if that Roma team win the league, the craziness in
Yeah.
Roma in Italy
Yeah.
would be incredible. Therein, last night was also the Milan derby.
Mm-hmm.
AC Milan won 1-0 against Inter with a goal from Christian Pulisic. Çalhanoğlu also missed a penalty. I saw that. Before, you predicted a difficult season for this AC Milan, but they're currently second after 12 games. Are you impressed with this AC Milan after all, when you see that?
I mean, I'm totally impressed because I never thought that Allegri would be successful in Milan. I mean, when I watched his Juventus days with that Juventus team with Vlahovic, Kenan Yıldız, and others, I was getting bored in every single game of Juventus that I watch, and I expected something similar because again, like Juventus, Milan have like 1 or 2 stars, and right now Italian league is not filled with stars like Premier League or La Liga, maybe even like Bayern Munich in Bundesliga. But I think it's safe to say that he's doing quite a good job right now. Last night's victory, again, it was huge for Milan's side, but as we said, Hakan Çalhanoğlu's penalty miss was huge. It's his only second penalty miss in his Serie A
Yeah,
career.
that's
In his
very
entire
rare.
he doesn't miss penalties. And I mean, when I watch him play, when I watch him shoot penalties, take penalties, he doesn't miss, but he somehow missed the penalty yesterday. I mean, it can happen. He's a human, but Inter missed lots of chances. I mean, I was just looking at statistics as well, just to confirm it, and they had 1.9 expected goals, and they didn't score any goals against Milan, which is a huge loss considering they are the top scoring team in Serie A right. Milan, on the other hand, they were able to find 1 goal from 1 expected goal, and a huge win for them. They are chasing AC Roma. I think if they don't miss out on some points against mid-table teams like they did in a couple of past games, Milan can regain the first spot in the Serie A table sometime soon in the upcoming weeks. But I still believe that at the end of the season, Inter Milan can win the Serie A. When I just watch the Serie A teams, Italian teams, I still think that considering their attacking power, Inter Milan is the strongest in the Serie A table. They're just struggling because that generation that we were used to in the past couple of years, they came to their end, let's say, because they are getting old. But I still believe that in terms of quality, they are on top with Napoli right now. So I think Inter Milan is going to be champions at the end of the season.
Well, you're right. I think I agree with you. When you watch the table, of course, AS Roma is first with 27 points, but AC Milan is with 25 points second, Napoli 25 points, sorry, and Inter 24. So it's really tight between those 4 teams. And let's hope that the race will continue until the end of the season. But of course, Inter can win the title, AC Milan too, Napoli. Jotis, I wanted to ask you. We said also at the beginning of the season that Napoli and Inter were maybe the 2 big favorites for the title this season in Serie A. Do you still think the champion will be one of these 2, or now you see a surprise maybe or another team winning the title?
What I didn't see in the beginning of the season was AS Roma topping the table, so I was not expecting that. But I still think since it's like only 1 or 2 points different between all these teams, so it could go either way, and we're still early in the season. And Napoli, Inter, and Milan, like they all have like really good squads. And Italian teams, you know how the like games go, like they're very defensive, and like we always say, defense wins you titles. So it's going to be a tough competition. You can't really write anyone off because of how tight the race is. But I still think Napoli is going to come out on top and win. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll see that. Next week, there will be an interesting AS Roma against Napoli game. So maybe that game will confirm us or not what we think. Let's head now to England, where the Premier League is in full swing. Arsenal is still top of the table after their 4-1 victory over rivals Tottenham. Chelsea have moved into second place following City's defeat at Newcastle. And Liverpool, meanwhile, suffered a home defeat to Nottingham. Frustration for you, Darren. The Premier League table is constantly changing every week, except of Arsenal, which is the leader. What are your thoughts on the current standing, and who you think now are the real favorites to win the title? We have Arsenal, which is, as usual, in the top spots and is competing for the title. What are the other teams that are really competing for this title this season, in your opinion?
Every week when I take a look at the Premier League fixtures and results, what I think of is that I just imagine a couple of parents coming together in a dinner, and all of them are trying to pay the bill for the dinner.
Pay the bill, yeah.
All of them are like, no, please, I want to pay. And then the other one is saying no, because every single big team except for Arsenal, they're just dropping points and allowing the other one, oh, please, you can go first. I'll pay. You can go first. You get the 3 points. They're just doing that to each other, except for Arsenal. I mean, one week I take a look and Chelsea is losing a game. The other week, we say that Haaland is doing amazing. Maybe Manchester City can do some good stuff. And then boom, Suddenly, Manchester City lose against Newcastle, and I watched the last couple of minutes in that Manchester City versus Newcastle game, and it's just classic Manchester City. Even though they're just trying to, I don't know, like conquer the enemy, like not the enemy, but like trying to conquer the opponent side of the pitch with all the players, they just cannot find the back of the net. They're really good in possession, but again, some finishing problems, just as usual in a Guardiola team. And also Liverpool, man, this team, I don't even know what to say right now. Maybe, I don't know what happened, but when they came to Istanbul and Galatasaray beat them, they just lost their DNA or something.
Yeah, for real. Did
They
you curse them? What did you do? What
I don't
did
know
you
what
Turkish
We
guy do?
curse
I don't know what we did, but like ever since that game, they have been losing almost all games. I think they just won like one or two games, one in Champions League against Frankfurt and in the league against Aston Villa. And
also against Real Madrid.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, they won against Real Madrid, which was also surprising. I did not expect that, to be honest.
Yeah, me
But
too.
when we look at the big picture, it just feels to me that Arne Slot cannot figure out what's going on with the team and he cannot find the solution. I mean, every week it's the same. 3-0 against Nottingham Forest is a huge loss and nobody
at
can.
home.
Yeah, at home, at Anfield,
That's
3
crazy.
0 it's like it's unexplainable and it's unacceptable.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know how they're going to pull this off, but I think it's extremely hard for them to win the title right now. It's almost impossible. And if Mikel Arteta doesn't bottle this, I think this will finally be the year for Arsenal to be the champions. But we'll see how it
yeah,
goes in the future weeks.
yeah. In the end, Arteta maybe has find the solution. The solution is like to curse all the other teams to be the only one that can win the title.
Yeah. And
So we'll
also
see. Yeah,
counting on set pieces goals because every week they
exactly.
score a set piece goal.
Exactly. Jotis, I was about to ask you about Liverpool, of course. So we're heading for a truly disastrous season, right? What is going on with Liverpool?
It can't go on like this, can it? It can. So, I mean, it's crazy because just when you think, Liverpool is coming back, when we talk like
Yeah,
all episodes we've done so far, most of the talk that we had probably was about Liverpool because of how disastrous they've been this season. I think 6 league defeats in 7 games. That's kind of the status they have. It's unbelievable. I mean, Arne Slot was praised to the moon when they won the league last year, and now the patience is going thin, and they're starting to ask questions. That's on top of the spending spree that they had in the summer.
that's
All the
crazy.
stars that they bought. I don't know. I mean, 007 was in the past. Like that was 2 months ago, and I don't know what the number looks like at the moment. So
Still
it's
zero.
going.
In the Premier League, it's still zero.
Hmm.
It is still 0. I'm
Yeah.
just talking about the 7. It's not 7 anymore. It's 14 or
Yeah,
something.
now we're
It's 007, but double 007.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going crazy. I mean, Nottingham Forest was in the relegation zone, and they're not far away from the relegation zone. And they come to Anfield and they destroy Liverpool, and it's on top of a goal that was cancelled. I mean, that was called off by
Didn't they
VAR.
just like sack their coach, Postecoglou, a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sean Dyche just came on like a
Sean
couple of
Dyche.
weeks ago, and then he just like made use of Liverpool's form at the moment.
It's actually
It's
pretty good.
unbelievable. I think it would be really, really hard for Slot to bring on a massive change because I don't see that happening. Because I think the fixtures that they have coming up is not particularly good either. So it's gonna take something of a miracle for Liverpool to bounce back from this.
Yeah, I wanted to say, imagine if Arne Slot wouldn't have won the title last season. After this game, 100% sure that he would have been sacked because you
Yeah.
lose once again, so that's crazy because you lose every game right now in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But you lose at home against that Nottingham Forest team, which is not really impressive that season. You concede 3 goals against them and you don't score any goal. I don't remember a lot of games where Liverpool in the Premier League don't score and where they lose at home 3-0 against that team. That is crazy. To be honest, we were talking about Florian Wirtz. We can also talk about Alexander Isaac.
But
To be
yeah,
honest,
for
will
sure.
he score 1 goal this season or not? That's unbelievable. He cost 150 million, 15 million euros or pounds or dollars, whatever you want. He cost a lot of money and he didn't score any goal that season. That's a crazy situation for Liverpool, and they have to bounce back at least a bit, like win some games until maybe the half of the season, because I think Arne Slot won't last a lot if that situation goes on. So that's kind of mad for Liverpool. But when you watch the table, there are 11th right now, 18 points. The Manchester United is 10th with a match to play tonight. So that's crazy. Tottenham is above Liverpool. Bournemouth, Sunderland, Brighton, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, City, Chelsea, and Arsenal are the all teams above Liverpool who were champion last season. So that's kind of unbelievable. Just to conclude with Premier League, Alex, I just wanted to know what you think about Man City. They fluctuate between good and not so good this season. What do you think this team right now needs to become the powerhouse? It was not so long ago. We're not talking about Manchester United. City 2 years ago was the best team of the world. We were all agree on that. And now they can win, they can lose. We don't really know what is going on with that team. What do you think, Alex?
I think that I don't. It's you can't say that they need to sack Guardiola to become the best team in the world, because I think they have shown this season that they are on the right path, because they have not lost against Arsenal away. They destroyed Liverpool. Also, they had many great games. This loss against Newcastle just shows that they are not there yet. They need to find the right players for the right at the right time. When they won the Champions League and they looked unstoppable, it was like the peak of a team that was built for years, and it was the moment that clicked, you know? These players are new. We don't have Kyle Walker in that squad anymore. Rodri has had so many problems. He's not there anymore. It looks like he's not there anymore because he hasn't been playing. You have so many new faces. You have O'Reilly. You have Mateus Nunes. You have players that they need to, we say that, get more experience, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
They need to get better together. I think they will pick maybe next season or maybe 2 seasons next. I don't know. It's crazy. You don't know if Guardiola would be there in 2 years. Maybe he will be there next year, but you don't know if he will be there 2 years in 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, the situation in City, yeah, I agree. They are improving, that's sure. They're progressing. They're not really far from not their best level, but far from a great level, to be honest. But they sometimes miss some opportunities. Yesterday against Newcastle, to be honest, Newcastle did the right thing. They defended very well. They just took the good occasions to put it into the net. And I think the weakness that Man City has right now is not about the level, it's more about the head. They still need to recover from teams from last season, and as soon as they will recover 100% and be in fine form in their head and also physically, I think they might be back to compete for the title and also the Champions League. But I agree, maybe in 1 season or two seasons. But for now, we cannot predict how Manchester City will finish this season. But we'll see. Guys, we have to move on, but we'll finish this segment with a quick update on the other leagues. In the Bundesliga, of course, Bayern Munich remain unbeaten. They have won 6-2 against Freiburg, so that's a crazy game from Bayern Munich. Leipzig is second with 25 points, and they're making a strong comeback this season. The previous seasons, they were not so good, and now they're second, so that's interesting. And they're ahead Leverkusen and Dortmund. Guys, quickly, do you think these top teams will be in the Champions League next season? Do you think the top four of Bundesliga will be Bayern, Leipzig, Leverkusen, or Dortmund, or do you see another team that can compete?
In the Bundesliga,
Yeah,
I don't think so. I mean, I think right now, I think it's gonna just go like this because Bundesliga is not a league where we see so many surprises. Red Bull Leipzig is an exception because a couple years ago after they were acquired by Red Bull, they had the huge investment. So unless there is a huge amount of money invested by some foreign person or someone from outside the club, I don't think we're gonna see any surprises on Bundesliga. So I think it's just gonna go on like this.
Bayern will win the title, and the three other teams will compete for the other places. Finally, in Ligue 1, PSG remains at the top after a 3-0 victory this weekend. Marseille is in seventh place, ahead of Lens and Lille. Alex, you're our Ligue 1 expert this season. I just wanted to ask you quickly, do you see any team that you have maybe commented or that you have watched that could challenge for the top spots or a surprise in this League One you want to talk about?
I mean, the team that has the most capacity to compete against PSG is Marseille. And the biggest asset of Marseille is Mason Greenwood. I mean, let's say you are Thomas Tuchel. What are you doing with Greenwood? Are you going to call him to get him on your squad for the World Cup? Because he has been racking goals
Yeah.
every game this season. He has been
Yeah.
crazy. And we saw him also in the game against Real Madrid that Marseille played in the Champions League. He like bullied the Real Madrid defense. He was so good and he has so many qualities. And Marseille have a great coach in De Zerbi. I think they can challenge PSG up until some point. They can. I think the challenge, so we call it challenge, will go on until maybe February, and then PSG will like disappear, and they will win
Yeah.
the title. But a big surprise for me is Lens because they have been won many games in a row. Right now, they only lost one game in the past weeks, and it was against Metz. It was a very unexpected 2-0 loss for Lens against Metz, who were bottom of the table before that game was played. A very like bad surprise is Monaco because I think they have 3 losses in a row right now, and they are like 8th in the table or something. And you would expect Monaco to be up there.
Yeah, what's
This is
going on with them? Why are they like this right now? Are you guys following them, like watching their games, or?
no,
Yeah,
they
kind of.
sacked their coach, and it just didn't work for them.
Yeah. And that's the situation in Monaco. They're rocking, they're winning like 4, 5, 6 games consecutively, and you think that they can maybe compete with PSG, and then they're able to lose 5 games in a row against really weak teams in League One. So that's the situation with them. That's good for you, Darren, because you're gonna play them in the Champions
Yeah,
League soon.
that's why I'm asking.
Yeah,
In
that's
2
a good
weeks.
news. Exactly, in 2 weeks. Guys, thank you, Alex, because you talked about a player, Mason Greenwood. I wanted to talk with you in the press review, but we're going to talk quickly about him right now. As you said, he continues to put in great performances for Marseille. Last season, he scored 22 goals. He was top scorer of La Ligue 1 with Ousmane Dembélé, so that's quite impressive. And this season also, he has scored 11 goals and provided 4 assists for Marseille. So that's kind of impressive when you have a player like this. You talked about Tuchel and the English national team. And also, in your opinion, does Greenwood still have a future in a major European club? Or do you think his career will not be at the level he can reach after all the different problems with him? Jotis, Darren, do you think Greenwood has a future in a great club and in the English selection or not?
I think it would be difficult for him to get back to the Premier League. I don't think any of the clubs will take the risk and sign him. But anywhere else in Europe, I think it's still a possibility. He was in La Liga. He was playing for Getafe. So that means that another La Liga team could sign him. But Premier League is very unlikely. Bundesliga, not sure about that. So it could either be he'll come back to La Liga or he could stay in France and maybe play for another team. So I'm not exactly sure how that pan out. How old is he?
He's
Like 25, 24? 24,
24.
Something like
26.
Okay, yeah.
this? Yeah. So it's
So
still
there's
very young, right?
yeah, still plenty of time. So let's see.
Yeah, well, we'll
He's
see.
24.
Yeah, maybe he can replace Vinicius Junior at the end of the season for Real Madrid. Imagine that.
Yeah. That's a
But
move that
well,
would actually make sense because you sell Vinicius, you put Rodrigo on the left, Greenwood on the right. That's a Mbappe at the center. That's a front three you would be scared of.
I mean,
well,
on
okay.
paper that works, but in reality, that's never gonna happen.
Yeah, well, let's see the future of this player. Guys, it's time to move on and talk a little about international football too. So the first European teams are qualified for this World Cup. They have been announced, and as well as the team that will be trying to qualify. So everyone will give their thoughts on their national team. We'll start with France. So I'm good with that after that, which has logically secured its tickets to the next World Cup by beating Ukraine and Azerbaijan. But despite everything, there are still some topics of debate surrounding this French team. First, there's the case Mbappe, who didn't play in the last match for France, even though he's the captain, and due to a supposed injury, so he didn't play. But however, Mbappe was seen enjoying himself in Dubai in recent days before returning to Madrid. I wanted to ask you because it brings a lot of debate in France. So I wanted to ask you too. Do you think it's normal for Mbappe to have privileges as captain and also best player of the team, or does that kind of situation shock you that he said he's injured, but after all, he's not injured. He's just go to Dubai and enjoy holidays. Yeah, Alex, what do you think about that?
Who was the last French player to win the Ballon d'Or?
Good question and good answer.
So, as far as the individual trophies, he's not the best player. So
That is
he
true.
he doesn't have the right to have privileges.
Yeah.
I mean, that's actually a really, really good point. Who won the last Ballon, the French Ballon d'Or? And you know what? For a second, I forgot Dembele won the Ballon d'Or for a second.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, who was it? Was it Thierry Henry or who was it? Yeah, but that's actually true. I completely agree with you. Jotis, I'm going to hand to you in a second, but I definitely agree with that. I don't think any players should have a privilege if you are not Messi or Ronaldo. Even Messi and Ronaldo, considering
Yeah.
who they are and what they're doing, they would never do something like this. I mean,
No, they
Cristiano
won't.
Ronaldo, even if he was injured, he would just stay with the team just for the morale and motivation. He would never do something like this. And let me say this, if Kylian Mbappe wants to leave a legacy in football, he should not do some stuff like this. I like him. I like his play style. I like his character as well. I don't think he's as spoiled as Vinicius Jr. No offense to Vinny,
Yeah.
but maybe he shouldn't do stuff like this. Jotis, you can
Yeah.
go.
Now, I was just gonna say, like, obviously, no player should be, treated differently. Like, none of them should have privileges over the other. But I think, like, if it's, if the team is okay without him and he can spend some time, he can spend some time, holidays or whatever, because we see, like, it's an intense schedule for everyone. And Mbappe being one of the top players in the world, obviously the demands from the clubs and the national team are pretty damn high. So I don't see if it's fine for the national team. I mean, if they're letting him go with with the knowledge, I think that's okay. I mean, media always creates a lot of drama around it, but what if the team had known that he needs to rest and like the injury that was just an excuse that the team came up with, not the player himself. We don't really know the whole side of the story, but so I think again, none of the privileged like players should be treated differently just because you might want some things. But I think it's okay for them to take a break or whatever.
Okay.
Okay. Picture this. He doesn't play against Azerbaijan, for example. Another player gets to play in his position, right? Let's say that player is Ekitike, because he just started. He was given his first call up for the national team in these recent qualifiers. You play, you score, you have a great game, and you are excited for the future because it's the dream of every player to play for their national team. Then it comes the World Cup. Then it comes the big games. Like these are the games that every player wants to play, except Ronaldo, because he thinks that the World Cup is just 6-7 games. If you are not Ronaldo, you want to play the World Cup, right? And then Mbappe, who was enjoying a cigarette in Dubai while you were working your ass to qualify, he comes and takes your place. Isn't that frustrating for you, like the player, for you, Ekitike, the player that stood up when the star of the team didn't want to play? Like you have to put yourself in the mind of the other players as well.
Derek, go on.
That is true.
I just want to
That is
make
true.
a really, really slight point here. If, let's say, Mbappe was on the team, with the team, I mean, and let's say due to his injury, he was sitting on the bench and Ekitike was playing. If it was this case and Ekitike was playing, performing well, and then in the World Cup, Mbappe was beginning to start in the lineup and Ekitike was on the bench, then it would be completely fine because he was
Yeah,
with
exactly.
the team during this win. But since he was absent with the team and going on holidays, I definitely
Yeah.
agree with you on this scenario, Alex.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
that's my
gotta bring
point.
up a point. This is one game. Mbappe was there for all the other qualifiers. It's not just one game that qualifies you to the World Cup. You gotta go through several games to get there. Just
But
because he
then,
scored just because he scored, one goal in one game doesn't guarantee you a spot in the World Cup. Because to get there, other players had to, contribute to it as well. So I think it's a bit unfair to judge him based on his absence in one game.
That is true. That is true. But that was one game this year. But last season, you remember that they were kind of the same situation with what happened to him in Sweden. With the girls and the things, and he was not in the
Yeah.
French team. And also, I understand what you say. I agree with you, Alex and Darren. But also, I understand what you say, Jotis. But he's the captain of the team. There have been lots of problems and debate about that because people thought that Antoine Griezmann will become the captain, and after that he retired from French national team. Mbappe has to also give the example. So I agree,
Yeah,
he has to rest. All the players needs to have time to recover. They play 90 games a year right now, so that's kind of crazy. And of course, it won't deserve the qualification for France. I agree with you, but also as you're the captain, as your coach is giving you confidence, and the players trust you also to organize the team and do everything to be competitive for the next World Cup, because France needs to be competitive for next World Cup, because even if they always do great stuff in great competition, they haven't won the trophy since 2018. It's going to be 8 years right now, and that's a lot for that kind of teams, right? So I understand what you said, Jotis, but I think as the captain of this team and also your star, you know that everything you're going to do is going to provoke debate. The press is going to talk about it, all the stuff like this. So I think he needs to sometimes think not only for himself, but collectively. And you will go to Dubai maybe that summer, and that's okay for you if you can avoid provoking media, provoking people, and generating lots of debates around that. I think that's better. Alex, you wanted to add something.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you on this Mbappe situation. I was just it found it funny to me how you said it will be 8 years since we last won the World Cup, so that's too much.
I'm not
The
saying that's
audacity when other teams don't even make it to the World Cup.
yeah, no, that was not my point, but you understand my
Yeah, we
point.
No,
And
get it.
I'm just
also,
kidding. I
it's
understand.
it will be the last competition of Didier Deschamps, and I think he was the best manager of France for during the history, and I think he also wants to quit the national team with a trophy. But
Yeah.
even if they don't win the trophy on a good note, with the players playing good, a real team level. And I think he also doesn't need that kind of controversial debates around his captain, around the other players. I think Mbappe has to also think about that. Let's continue because we don't have lots of time rest. But Jotis, we're gonna talk about Portugal now. Your national team, right? They
Through
also
Portuguese.
through Portuguese.
Yeah, you and Speed.
Portugal has also qualified for the next World Cup, despite some difficulties, notably in the match lost to Ireland, and also the exclusion of Cristiano Ronaldo. That's kind of the same situation, Ronaldo in Portugal. Lots of debates, Mbappe, lots of debates. But obviously, that was enough for everyone to start talking about that. And also, after his interview that we all watched, I just wanted to ask you, what do you think about the situation for Portugal? Is there a situation, or nothing is very dangerous? And do you think it can be an impact on the team's performance next summer? Some people are saying that Portugal plays better without Ronaldo. What do you think about that?
It's just all noise. It's just all noise created by the media. The truth is, Portugal have a really good squad with Ronaldo for the World Cup, and we're gonna win it. There's no question about that.
No.
And this will crown Ronaldo as the greatest player of all time. So
And then you wake up.
that is that'll be the end of the debate. No, but for real, I think it's all bullshit when people talk Portugal play without Ronaldo, because it was the one game they scored like 9-1 against. I think the last game was against Armenia,
Yeah.
where they scored 9-1. But even games we had before against Armenia, we won like 5-0, 6-0, something like that. So I mean, Ronaldo was there. So it's all noise that there's always comes around with Portugal and with Ronaldo. But I think we have a really good squad. I would be surprised if they don't make it to at least the semifinals, because we have such
Okay.
a good squad, and I think I have really high expectations for this team.
Yeah, really high expectation. Yeah, we can understand that with their squad depth. Therein, let's now talk about Turkey. They have secured its place in the European qualifiers. I'd like you to tell us about your team. What do you expect from those qualifications, and what you plan to do if you participate in this World Cup? Like, what the team, if they qualify for the next World Cup, what do you think they can reach in terms of like, what do you think, what step they can reach in this World Cup if they qualify? What do you think?
First of all, I want to talk about our performance a little bit, and I want to
Sure.
praise our coach, the Italian coach Vincenzo Montella. I think
Okay.
he's truly a genius of football.
Enzo Montella.
Yeah, Vincenzo Montella, like the Italians. We should ask our friends from the class how it's
Yeah.
pronounced. Like,
Exactly.
I truly believe that he's a good coach. And some people are saying, especially in the Turkish media, is that he has amazing players. Of course, he's going to play like this. This team can play even without a coach. I completely disagree. I've seen how this team plays before Vincenzo Montella. We had a German coach, Stefan Kuntz. And before that, we had a Turkish coach, Şenol Güneş. And I don't think Turkey was playing good in both those terms. And Vincenzo Montella completely changed that. We were struggling a lot against teams like, for example, Iceland, who are very physical and playing compact. We were having a hard time trying to unlock their defense. But right now, I think our team is playing really, really good when we are in the possession of ball. The only unlucky thing that happened to us during these World Cup qualifiers is that the team that came from the first pot was the worst that we could get. It was Spain, the last
Okay.
Euro champions. I'm pretty sure that if we got Austria, or I don't know who else is in the first pot, but like maybe
Italy.
Belgium or someone else,
Okay.
maybe we could have a chance of winning against them and going straight to the World Cup. But when you play against Spain, it's almost impossible to win against them. I mean, in the first game, they humbled us in our own stadium 6-0. In the second game, although we showed a amazing performance, a huge performance, it's hard to play against Spain in a way. So we
Absolutely.
got a draw, 2-2, and I think that's also very impressive considering
Uh-huh.
Spain is one of the best teams in the world right now. And I'm expecting a lot more from our Turkish team right now. We're gonna play against Romania, and we're gonna also get back to it with Alex in a couple of minutes. But before that, on the paper, Turkey is favorites because there's a huge
Of
difference
course.
between the levels of the team. Yeah, I mean, we have some players who are performing on the top level of European football, and I truly believe that Turkey can defeat Romania. And also, the game is just one leg, and it's going to be played in Turkey. It's not going to
Yeah.
be played in
Yeah.
Romania. And if we can win, we're going to play our second game against either Kosovo or Slovakia.
Slovakia.
Yeah, so I think Turkey is gonna go to the World Cup if we don't make a stupid mistake. And
Okay.
if I have to answer your second question, I would like to see Turkey getting out of the group stage in the World Cup. I don't want to talk big because this is the World Cup. I mean, you are competing against literally the biggest nations in the world, and everyone who's there is there because they have the strength to be there. There are not lucky teams there. Like, for example, in Champions League, you can say that, oh, we're playing against Pafos or we're playing
Yeah.
against Almaty. These are easy teams. You don't say that in World Cup because even the lowest ranking team in Africa or Asia, they will show a very dominant and very good performance, very solid performance. So I would be happy by just getting out of the groups, but anything after getting out of the group stage would be a bonus for me. So I would like to go
Okay.
step by step. First step is, of course, going to the World Cup. Handing to you, Alex, what are your expectations about Romania and the World Cup qualifying situation?
I think just for this game between Romania and Turkey, of course, you guys can name so many Turkish players. Can you name any Romanian players?
Alex
Draguzin.
Ivan.
Who? Ah, Alex
Alex
Ivan, yeah.
Ivan.
Draguzin, the
That
defender.
basically sums up your answer
And that's
for the question of who is the favorite.
yeah.
So, yeah, Turkey is definitely, they are the favorite. The problem with Romania, so before those two final games, we had to play Bosnia. They beat us at home 1-0, and we had to beat them at their ground in order to finish second, so we can be in the second part for the playoff, because we are in the playoffs because of the Nations League, not because of the qualifiers.
Yeah, true.
And because we are in the playoffs for the Nations League, we were in the last pot. And of course, if you are in the second pot, you get better opponents like technically better opponents. We were 1-0 up at the break against Bosnia, and then we collapsed, 3-1 loss. So it's just the team is not made to compete. I think the Euros was like an exception. And in those Euros, we only had one good game because we beat Ukraine 3-0.
I was watching that game.
Yeah, it was a very, like, the most crazy game ever. Ukraine also, they had a very, very bad game. I mean, and we scored 2 goals from outside the box, and those shots, if they never went in, you never know what the score would be. Because scoring from outside the box, it's not like the result of
Yeah.
a very good tactically put team, working team.
Mm-hmm.
And then we drew to Slovakia, and we were lucky to draw against them because we were given a very soft penalty, and we lost to Belgium. No, like, we didn't put any fight against Belgium, and then against Netherlands, and we were knocked out. This is the history of our national team. We have to go on with that, and yeah, we'll have to watch the World Cup. I'll buy a nice TV to watch the World Cup from home.
Well, so yeah, we'll see the playoffs for the next World Cup is in what, in March? You
March,
told me,
yeah.
right? March. So there will be an interest in Romania, then Turkey against Romania in
It's
March,
gonna be
right?
in Istanbul, so maybe, I mean, it's not confirmed yet, I think, but rumors say, the news say that it's gonna be in Istanbul, so maybe I can go watch it in the stadium. Alex, you're welcome to come here, Alex. We can watch it together if you want.
I'll try my best, bro, to be there. It could be
I'll be
crazy.
delighted to host you.
We'll all come to Turkey to watch that game.
Go.
Is that mid-March? When is that? When is happening?
I'm not sure when, but I
26th,
know
I
it's in
think.
March, but I'm not sure when in March.
Okay.
I think. I'm not sure.
Okay, end of March. All right. So we'll try to find the solutions to watch that game together, guys, because it's amazing that those two teams are playing against each other for those qualifiers. Well, guys, we'll now come to the end of this podcast. Thank you all for listening us on Spotify or YouTube. Don't forget once again to follow us on social media. We'll be there next week, same times. Jotis, Alex, Darren, thank you very much, guys. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. Thank you as well.
Thank you, Jules.
Thank you, Jules.
Thank you very much, guys, and see you next week, everyone. Bye-bye.